Welcome to Pod Me If You Can. I'm David Farrell.
And I'm Lloyd Hughes.
And today we pose a question to the listeners. If all the alien races from films arrived on Earth at once, which would conquer the Earth by defeating all others? So we've gone big on this one, Lloyd. But we've included the variable that the humans obviously still exist. So these are the aliens trying to conquer each other. They're all on Earth. They all arrive at the same time. You've got to imagine that it's a ridiculous day in the Earth's history. And the one alien race, which I didn't include, was the Kryptonian alien race. I said no Superman on this one because I feel like Superman would probably wipe out so many of these alien races. He's almost a god. So I took him out of this question. So alien, I realize Superman is an alien, but we've eliminated him from this question, really for the interest of fairness. What do you think?
Yep. And it has to be movie-based as well.
Yes, we've gone for films. If all the alien races from films arrived on Earth at once. So this is going to include some spoilers for alien movies. We'll probably talk about the strengths and weaknesses of various alien films and the races of aliens in them. So just a heads up. Also, technically, some things that are created on Earth are not aliens. So, Godzilla, for example, he's mutated, I believe.
Yeah, that's right. It came from the fear of the nuclear weaponry coming from, post World War II, in particular Japan, for obvious reasons. And that's one of the great myths that came out of nuclear energy and mutation and so forth. Like, America did a string of those movies, like The Incredible Shrinking Man, I think, was one of them. The Attack of the Big Tarantulas was another, all those nuclear fear films.
Yeah, that warp aliens and, creatures on Earth into alien
Yeah, that's right,
things. Yeah. A movie I really love is The Host, the Korean film.
Yep.
Again, it's a mutation, though, so I can't include The Host. Which I don't think would win overall, but I just think is worth mentioning. And interestingly, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which are mutants, in the Michael Bay film, they're going to be aliens, aren't they?
Yeah, that's right. It's going to be interesting to see how he handles that. It's going to be a complete reboot of the whole story as we know it.
Yes, but we can't include them in this podcast until after that film.
Sure.
So, sadly, on a technicality, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles do not win.
We asked Reddit on this, and I'm shocked no one brought up Transformers or anything like that, because technically...
I was wondering, yeah.
Yeah, I was just like, wow, I thought, with this new generation, the first thing you'd think of is, Transformers,
Yeah, I did a little thinking myself. You've got Alien, you've got Predators, Independence Day aliens, Cloverfield is an alien, I believe, because you see it fall out of the sky towards the end of that film. Mars Attacks, E.T., there's creatures in Men in Black, Transformers I thought of, and District 9, just the first ones that came to my mind. But I think we can both agree of which ones would lose first. I think you can find the aliens from Signs.
If you get them wet. If a pantry cabinet keeps them in check, that's...
Yeah, you rewatch that film, it just seems like sometimes they're so weak that sort of... Yeah,
how did they win? How were they dominating? Sorry.
It was just the fear of the unknown and the way M. Night Shyamalan just doesn't show you the aliens for sort of so long.
Yeah, there's been a lot of reviews on the net that have just torn that movie to shreds, and one of the key lines from it was, I've kept one of them in the cabinet. I guess they can't handle cabinets or something like that, or pantries, or... and it
I locked one in the pantry.
Yeah, I locked one in the pantry. Just like, wow, okay, I can't believe they actually said that and effectively crushed all the power of what, or the fear of what that alien was generating in the whole movie.
Yeah, the other race, I think, the War of the Worlds aliens. Have you seen the Tom Cruise one? Or?
Yeah, I have, and it's famously a virus kills them. A small little
that they can't adjust to our atmosphere and stuff. I think it's the common cold. The Morgan Freeman voiceover.
Well, virus is a huge thing in a lot of movies, in particular, even Night of the Living Dead, because how the zombie plague starts is a satellite or something comes back to Earth and they believe it was carrying something, and people got sick from it, and they all become zombies. It's a small little detail in that movie. You have to look out for it, but just want to illustrate, like, a lot of virus themed things seem to pop up in these alien sort of type movies.
Definitely. The other thing is, a lot of them, I think we got a lot of suggestions from Reddit and stuff on creatures and things that would be great in sort of land combat.
Yeah.
You know, if it was like 1,000 of them versus 1,000 of them, not hand-to-hand combat, but, you know, a land-based battle.
Yeah.
But then, I mean, that really is interesting against, say, something like Independence Day, where they're in a ship that destroys something the size of New York, you know, with a sort of flick of a switch.
Yeah.
I realize a virus takes down the Independence Day aliens, but I feel like they would, if they were fighting each other, the Independence Day aliens would have a massive advantage being above any kind of...
Technologically, they're so powerful. They have weaponry equivalent to nuclear missiles, but on a huge scale, you know. Like, as you said, they took out all of New York. It makes me think of that movie Battlefield Los Angeles. Battlefield Earth is wiped from my mind forever.
I thought you were going to suggest it. All right.
No. Battlefield Los Angeles, which is apparently or supposedly the most realistic portrayal of an actual invasion,
alien invasion,
yeah,
sure.
or a military-esque invasion of Earth. And it just makes me think of the technological advantage that the aliens from Independence Day have. Like, it's just so huge. It makes me wonder, like, if a predator could get inside their ship, I think the predators would kill them in hand-to-hand. But I don't know, it's getting to that ship. Like, they're going to deal a lot of damage first.
So Predator is the one, correct, where the Predator sees heat, right? You've got that Predator vision.
Yeah, they got several different types of visions. Like, their vision is limited compared to ours, but with the helmet they have on, yeah, they see various ways. Like, I think Predator 2 in particular, he was flicking through the different kinds of visions he had.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was going to say, I mean, if it's heat-based, maybe the Independence Day aliens are cold-blooded and you can't even see them up there.
Well, I guess that'd adjust their vision, but... yeah.
Okay, so it's not heat-based to the point where...
yeah, they're limited to
them. Only
that. Yeah, no, they can adjust their vision, definitely.
Okay, I don't really remember that scene where they adjust the vision, but okay. That's fine.
Yep.
I was going to ask, what do you think? We got Mars attacks, right? I mean, these aliens, they're comical, obviously.
Yeah.
But they've got ray guns that just disintegrate, you know? But I feel like we can eliminate them because of the way that they are eliminated in Mars attacks, which is they play a Slim Whitman song and they drive around town destroying them and their heads sort of burst and stuff.
Yeah, the idea is some kind of frequency is just... yeah.
Which I feel like that frequency could be replicated with, I don't know, an alien cry or, the humans could replicate it. So I feel like though Mars attacks aliens would do a lot of damage, we can take them out of contention.
Sure.
Let's jump to Reddit user suggestions. So... Steve-O Giant, thank you for contributing, has suggested the Thing alien. If their whole race showed up at once, they would easily consume the other aliens and humans. So the Thing, capable of imitating other life forms, Lloyd?
I haven't seen the original, but I have seen John Carpenter's version, which I'm assuming he's referring to.
I'm guessing so too. There's also a remake with Joel Edgerton from 2010 or 2011.
I think that's actually a prequel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, to John Carpenter's The Thing, because it starts off with a Norwegian guy chasing a dog, trying to shoot it down, and they eventually have to shoot him because he's like a crazy guy with a gun, or appearing as that. And then they travel back to his outpost, and they see like strange things have happened, and the whole movie, The Thing, that had recently come out is all about that, what happened there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, that's what I heard. I haven't seen it. I heard it was terrible.
Okay. Knowing the Thing, the alien, the Thing, do you think it means that it can become any other alien?
Yeah, it does have a slow rate to do it, though. Like that.
There is a changing, isn't there?
Yeah, there is a metamorphosis thing that he has to do, and it takes a bit. Like, he does it relatively quickly, but just because of the speed of that, I don't think he's, that... He's gonna, I'm shocked that this is the number one rated comment with 20 points. And a lot of people. So I guess a lot of people agree with that, but I don't know. Like, just with the slow pace of it, I think the Predators could handle him.
Yeah, can it turn into multiple things at once? Like, if it's transforming into, let's say, a predator,
Yep.
and another predator comes up to kill it.
Yes.
I mean, I suppose we're talking about a race of thing aliens. The whole race is showing up.
Yeah.
So they're all transforming. They're transforming.
Yeah.
They're transforming. What's like? Are they flesh and blood though? I mean, can we just shoot and kill them? Is this?
Yeah, that's interesting. What was its original form as it was coming out of the snow when it crash landed on Earth? Because if you look at it from the alien point of view, he's just like in the movie The Thing. Sorry, he's just the guy that crash landed on Earth. Tries to take form of something else and to get out of there, you know, because he's stranded, really. And yeah, like if a whole army of them was down, like fighting the Predator, it'd be pretty interesting. I don't know what their original form looked like, if they were that identifiable. Yeah.
But to my knowledge, I don't think they kill the thing, do they?
No. At the end,
in the film.
Yeah, that's what the film is about. Paranoia. You don't know who's who. You don't know who's the actual villain and so forth. But yeah, it's just left open, ended. Like yeah.
Another suggestion we had from Michael George Hartley was he wrote the body snatcher virus, or whatever it is that creates the pod people.
Yeah.
In every other movie that aliens are killed at the end of Invasion of the Body Snatchers, they are not, because they cannot be stopped. So, I mean, these are exactly the same sort of thing. It's just duplication and like replacing and overtaking, I guess.
The scary thing about that film, it's so terrifying, and both... Oh, I think more so the 70s version, especially, was that if you fall asleep, you just turn into this cocoon, which is so freaky, almost like Nightmare on Elm Street. It's actually sort of like the story is all about, you know, the communism and so forth coming to America and that fear, similar to the nuclear threat and what all the fantasies of what nuclear weaponry will do. Same thing with communism. What communism was going to do, these sort of fear-mongering stories came out, and in particular Invasion of the Body Snatchers was one of them. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, definitely. I see a lot of similarities too between The Thing and Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Yes.
Where, you know, life forms are being replicated and replaced and imitated, and I feel like if those two aliens, let's call the pod people type aliens versus the Thing aliens, I mean, I feel like they would just sort of mimic each other to death. It would just, you know, there's no winner there, I guess.
Yeah.
And when you bring in something like Billy effing Mays suggests, he says, the Blob.
The Blob, yes.
Wouldn't the Blob just absorb all of these? You know, the Thing.
Yeah, the weakness of the Blob, how they beat him in the end, is they freeze him and then they just drop it in the... freeze it and drop it in the Atlantic, just so it's like frozen forever, I guess. That's how the film sort of ends. But the threat is still there. Like, it's pretty much invincible. It can absorb anything from shots to, you know, explosions, really, or even electricity. So yeah, it would just consume everything.
It's at the actually end of the Blob, it says the end question mark.
Yeah, with a big question mark. That's a classic
implying
movie.
It's not over.
Yeah, but it's actually a very powerful thing. You know, it could just keep absorbing. Yeah.
Could it be beaten if it had nothing to absorb? Like if you kept it in an area where there was just nothing.
Possibly.
Is that its food? I guess. It arrives like on an alien craft, is that right? It's a meteorite.
Yep, that's right.
With and some goo on it.
Yeah, this poor farmer pokes it with a stick, and the little goo comes on the stick, then falls to his hand, and it keeps growing because it keeps absorbing or consuming. Yes. Yeah.
I wonder if there's a blob, like an initial blob, that has pieces that it shoots off to different sort of places, you know, and that's sort of, you know, it's sort of absorbing everything in the galaxy, universe, whatever.
Yeah, well, it's implied in the movie when I guess somebody over the phone suggests, why don't you blow it up? And he's saying, well, pieces of it will be all over the country. So even if you do manage to blow it up, like, I guess those little pieces will be little blobs as well, which would just be absolutely devastating. So it's really interesting. Although it's a very comedy like or very camp sort of like movie of the times. It's actually a very powerful alien, you know, the enemy that they're fighting.
Exactly. Everything you do makes it worse, basically.
Yeah.
Doing nothing is the only way.
Yeah.
Can you think of any alien that would have like a freeze ray or anything off the top of your head?
Well, just with the technology that was displayed, say, with the aliens from Independence Day, I wouldn't be surprised if their arsenal did have something like that. They could just like exchange weaponry. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah. I've got this image in my mind of the planet Earth, and it just has a layer of blob the entire way around it.
Yep.
You know, as it just absorbed everything.
Yeah.
Minoc 33 suggests both the Starship Trooper bugs, which I feel like is one of those, you know, land-based. It would be quite good, but Independence Day aliens would just go blam and wipe them out. You know,
that's right.
They are just, you know, flesh.
Yeah.
It's not like the Starship Trooper bugs wearing some kind of armor that makes them invincible to anything.
Yeah, I heard on the Joe Rogan podcast, they were saying, what if cockroaches or bugs were just the size of horses? We'd be screwed. Like, there's no way humanity would have survived up until now, because they're like the most perfectly designed. If you look at an insect, how they're designed, there's not one flaw in their design. Like, every little bit of what they have, what nature's given them, they use. And yeah, I guess Starship Troopers, the aliens in that were just really big cockroaches, you know, and there's so many of them. No matter how much you fire at them, they just keep spreading and building. You know, like the idea of a cockroach that can survive a nuclear explosion.
Yeah,
that's
true.
only a myth, though. I don't know if that's true.
Supposed to be, but I mean, until North Korea shoots off nuclear weapons, we won't know.
Yeah, we'll find out.
Minoc 33 also suggests it's the Borg.
Oh, yeah,
which,
from
Star Trek. So it's like a hive mind. Everybody is all other species and collective, and their collective connects them to the hive mind. It's like they're assimilated. There's an X-Men villain called Phalanx who does this sort of thing as well. And there's a Dollhouse episode where, for those unfamiliar, Dollhouse, the Joss Whedon program, which was cancelled after 2 seasons, there's an episode where they're sort of all a big hive mind, and it makes them this really awesome military kind of weapon because they can all see and feel and what everybody else is seeing and feeling.
Yeah, it's one universal conscience, pretty much.
Well put.
Yeah.
But what I've read is the Borg's ultimate goal is achieving perfection.
Yep.
So would they even want to conquer the Earth, or is...
Yeah, well, in the movie and the series, that's one of their main objectives, pretty much, is just to consume everything, kind of like the Blob. But
everything's a collective mind.
Yes, but everything's one side. I guess it's like a big, massive ant colony, how it works with one queen, because the movie First Contact displayed hierarchy. Was, you know, like the whole series, we never knew what was in charge. We just assumed Borg was this infinite army, and the movie displayed that there was this queen at the head of it. One thing. Yeah,
just like ants.
Yeah, just like ants or a beehive.
So would you think that the Borg would assimilate predators or aliens?
Like in the fight scenes that was displayed in Star Trek, they just seemed to me too stiff to do anything. Okay. And again, there's that brief period of time where they have to assimilate, people, where they put in the things in the throat and they have to assimilate them. And all the Borg assimilations I've seen were all humans. I didn't see any other alien form. Yeah, so I don't know. And there's so many creatures from Star Trek that are, I think, even more powerful than the Borg. And I guess the Borg was used because that's probably the best alien from the movies, of the Star Trek movies. But I don't think the Borg would have a chance against most aliens, like in particular Independence Day or even Predator.
Yeah, Phalanx in X-Men, it was this sort of... you touch it, you're absorbed into it, and suddenly you're a part of it kind of thing. Like, it was instantaneous, but it sounds like the Borg... I'm not a big Star Trek fan, sounds like the Borg had a process to assimilate you.
Yes,
so
they did. Yep.
a time-consuming.
Yeah,
kind of one.
it's a bit time consuming. It doesn't take long, but yeah, there is a bit of time for them to for the changeover.
Yeah, nice. Okay, so I mean, the Borg, it would be difficult to wipe them all out in a global, conquering alien
Yes.
war, because they can sort of assimilate someone else, and if they assimilate someone else, and it's a fast-spreading kind of
Yep.
domination. But they're still flesh and blood too, aren't they? I
Yes.
mean, if you had 100 Borg people in one place, and monsters sort of attacked them,
Yep.
whatever that monster may be, let's say the Cloverfield monster or the Starship Trooper bugs,
Yeah.
like, would they be able to sort of assimilate that while it's trying to attack them?
I don't think so. No, that it would have to be like they do have weaponry, like firepower of some sort. So it'd have to be that. I don't think they could assimilate it.
Okay, so I mean, eventually, if they can't assimilate some of these alien creatures, the alien creatures are going to kill them.
Yeah.
Can we say that?
Yeah.
Because if...
Yep.
So, I mean, I don't know that much about the Borg, so if we have critically left something out, Star Trek fans are welcome to get in touch with us on our Facebook page. I'll say all the links at the end of this podcast.
Sure, I'm a Star Trek fan, but I would never say I'm an expert. Definitely in Star Trek.
I think a small percentage of people are experts,
Yeah.
Lloyd, so your general knowledge is better than mine, though. Waffle, I believe his name is.
Sure.
Mentions the alien weapon in The Day the Earth Stood Still.
Yes, there's the day. I'm assuming he's meaning the remake with Kevin. What's his name?
Keanu Reeves.
Keanu Reeves. I was about to say Kevin Costner.
Yeah, definitely not
the
Kevin
original.
Costner.
The original one just had a big stiff robot, which is actually also in The Day the Earth Stood Still, and he just shoots lasers out of his eyes, which could really destroy pretty much anything. And in that film, it said that thing is invincible; it can destroy anything. But that's the only example we see in the '50s movies, like the eyes just shoot this laser, sort of like Cyclops in X-Men. In the remake, it's really powerful. Like the military has isolated it with its highest form of with our best technology in this like chamber, and it just destroys, like almost disintegrates everything. Like I don't know how to describe it. Sort of like it turns everything into like dust, almost like this metal dust. It's ridiculously powerful. Yeah.
But let's say it's the spears from the remake, because
Yep.
Keanu Reeves, it's like they're basically just like interplanetary spears that he
Sure.
uses to he sends animals off the Earth, like a Noah's Ark kind of thing,
Yep.
and
Knowing
interest
was
in-
like that as well.
knowing aliens.
Oh no, Knowing with what's
Nicolas
his name? Nicolas
Cage.
Cage, yeah.
What were the aliens like in that? Because you don't really see them. do
You don't really see them. The idea of that was like Adam and Eve, like that's how Earth was started. Like the moment Earth becomes too corrupted or something, or too blown out, the aliens like wipe it out, clean it, but only take a handful of people to recolonize other worlds. But yeah, I don't think you ever actually see the aliens. But in that example, when they do destroy the Earth, their weaponry is very powerful, like Death Star quality from Star Wars.
Yeah, Death Star. I mean, I eliminate the Death Star immediately just because of it's destroying the Earth rather than
Sure, fighting.
conquering it. Because
Yeah.
I mean, the question we're posing is, if all these aliens invaded,
Yeah.
which one would
Which one
dominate
would
all
fight?
others?
Yeah,
You know.
yeah.
So, I mean, could The Day the Earth Stood Still? I mean, he's one alien though.
Yes.
He's representing other aliens.
It's
There is
so
a
powerful.
race.
Yeah, like it's almost like a quick draw. Two guys in the West, like who shoots first, like because their technologies are so powerful. Like I don't know, from that creature, the big metal bodyguard in the Day the Earth Stood Still. I don't know, like it. I don't know if it's vulnerable. Like if you hit it with your best weapons, will it die? You know, that's yeah.
I feel like I'm thinking of Independence Day here. Like the Independence Day ships above New York.
Yeah.
Can Keanu Reeves' alien from the Day the Earth Stood Still. I can't remember his name. It's like Kalutu or something.
Yes.
Can he sort of launch a sphere weapon that takes down the Independence Day ship?
Yeah, if it can penetrate its shield, yeah, because in Independence Day, the shields that protect each ship, and bear in mind they're not the mothership, is so powerful it can withstand a nuclear blast. So if it can penetrate that shield, get to the ship, yeah, definitely it could really destroy and fall to pieces. But the only way to stop that ship is to stop that shield is to destroy the mothership. So
True.
and the strategy they have is so good. The mothership is so far away. Like the only way to get to it is, what the humans did was to
Go
infiltrate
to the mothership. And,
infiltrate it. Yeah. And
I'm
give
not
it
sure
a
what
virus from an
alien-
Apple computer.
Apple.
Yeah, they paid a fortune for that ad, by the way.
I'm not sure what aliens we've mentioned have sort of space travel. I suppose the Mars Attacks ones would.
Yep.
War of the Worlds, I guess, arrive
Sure. Yep.
via space. District 9, but they've got a broken spaceship. I suppose if lots of District 9 aliens arrived, that'd be... I'm just wondering who would be able to take out the Independence Day mothership, is what I'm thinking about.
I don't know. I think you were right when we first discussed this. When you mentioned just Independence Day and you were just brainstorming, I think they're probably the best ones.
All right, we try and take down Independence Day. Because, I mean, the thing is, though, you have to arrive on Earth in those ships to conquer the Earth.
Yeah.
If you're in the mothership, you're not on the Earth, you're not conquering the Earth. You might survive,
Yeah.
but you haven't taken over the Earth, when this question is about conquering.
Yeah.
So if these spheres, in the Day the Earth Stood Still, let's assume they can take out an Independence Day ship.
Yeah.
It's not Independence Day then. It's the Day the Earth Stood Still.
Yeah. No, that's true.
Because I don't know, I haven't seen the Keanu Reeves movie, but if these spheres are just like balls of energy that do whatever, he has telekinesis as well, doesn't he?
Yep.
It's tricky. Alright, China Shop Bully and Joyfield, both users on Reddit, have suggested the Q continuum, which in a fictionalized Star Trek universe again, the Q continuum is hyper-intelligent, pan-dimensional beings known as the Q, and they seem godlike. I mean, they... again, I mentioned I'm not a Star Trek fan. Lloyd has some knowledge, but they have the ability to manipulate time, space, matter, and energy.
Yeah, they're gods. Like
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know how you beat these guys.
Yeah,
but,
exactly.
Lloyd,
but they're not.
you've got a loophole.
Yeah, they're not actually in any of the movies. They're actually from the TV series. So it's part of the same universe if you want to include that. But if we're just talking purely the antagonists that's displayed or the creatures that's displayed just in the movies, we can't really include Q.
Yeah, it's a nice loophole, isn't it? Until they make a film featuring the Q.
Yeah.
But look, if we did include them, I don't see how they would lose.
Yes.
If they're invulnerable, immortal, they can't be killed. They can do whatever they want. They can only really beat each other. It says on Wikipedia, it says they can strip other Q of their powers and make them mortal if they have sufficient numbers. So I mean, they really can only beat each other.
Sure. That's right. Like they could teleport. Like example, if they fought, let's say the Independence Day guys, they could just teleport inside their ships and then, make all their heads disappear. Like it's that ridiculous. Yeah, their only downfall is themselves because they're almost childish, in a way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Well, I'm glad we're not including them just based on the ridiculous power and that it's like I said at the beginning, Superman
it's as game
is
as
super strong.
OP, overpowered.
KMD Kid says if Alien was left to breed on the planet, they would definitely swarm.
Yeah, they have that strength in numbers, but they are susceptible to firepower, and again, it takes time for them to do that, to drag away bodies and and then get them cocooned with the eggs and so forth. And they do they do grab some of the DNA of the alien, so they become part. Like if they grab a human, they look human-esque. If they grab a dog, they look like a dog. They get some of the traits, but predominantly they're alien. You know what I mean? And of course, what's that movie? Prometheus, with their technology, has really shot the whole mythology of Alien to pieces. I don't want to say that, but really changed the whole mythology of Alien to pieces, because now we discovered that it's actually chemical warfare that really caused the growth of aliens. So I don't know, like even those aliens from Prometheus would probably do pretty well, seeing as how their technology is pretty awesome with that virus that they create.
Yeah. I still feel like any kind of creature that's just land-based would like have a big battle, and I still feel like, I know Independence Day might be beaten by A Day the Earth Stood Still type spheres,
Sure.
presumably, but I still feel like if Independence Day ships or any kind of ships were just shooting down, I feel like aliens would just kind of blow up, and
Yep.
you know, again, they're sort of flesh. And do you think Alien would like lose to, say, Starship Troopers? Or I mean, Cloverfield is gigantic, that monster.
That's a really good thing. Like, who would win out of the bugs?
Yeah,
Between
maybe that
aliens.
kind of hand to hand, or
Yeah.
I don't know what you call it, claw to hook to hoof.
Like, even predators might struggle against the swarms of Starship Troopers, you know?
Yeah, I mean, this seems like a good time to mention StarCraft, Lloyd, because we had a suggestion from Cot M. Weasel, I
Yep.
guess, and he suggests, that's easy. Zerg, Fury of the Swarm. I, for one, welcome our new Zergling overlords.
I'm a StarCraft player myself, and I do play Zerg. And I can't include it because, again, it's a video game. But yeah, they're really, really powerful. Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous.
Can you explain it? Like, explain Zerg Rush or Zerging?
Yeah, like like Zerging or Zerg Rush it refers to like one of the early creatures that you can create. Picture Command and Conquer or Red Alert, like it's a strategy game, and one of the initial creatures that you can build is called a Zergling. So you can build lots of them and just attack right away and like sort of overwhelm the opponent's defenses. So if you can imagine that on a massive scale, just heaps and heaps of little Zerglings, like they're almost like these really savage dogs, like really savage, vicious dogs, just overrunning an enemy. That's the idea of a Zergling or Zerg Rush. So fast attack with lots of little creatures, I guess. A Zergling Rush, yes. But Zerg, the idea of the creatures, is really a huge rip-off of Alien. The design is obviously the whole StarCraft is a huge inspiration from James Cameron's Aliens, or should I say Ridley Scott's Alien, and yeah, in particular with the military as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, on a technicality, they're a video game. And
Yeah, they're a
not
video game. Yeah, I couldn't include them. No way.
Yeah. Okay, we've got to be technical about it, don't we? I
Yeah.
mean, I feel like there's something that won't come out for a few years that could really shed some light on this situation, and that's the sequel to Independence Day.
They are making a sequel to Independence Day?
It's in development as we record this. The plot details were released a little bit about it. It's the aliens. It's 20 years later, and Will Smith's stepson from the first film would be the lead. And basically, Bill Pullman, the president, would have a cameo. I'm sure they would need some advice from him, since the aliens would be returning
Yeah.
after losing to the humans the first time around. So if that goes into development, it is in development, if that goes into production, I feel like that would answer a lot of questions as to this invasion, because they would have to come back stronger, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
They would have to come back with a new strategy, and I feel like that new strategy would be something that would really play in this question.
It'll be an anti-Jeff Goldblum gun.
Yes. It'll just, yeah. I mean, I feel like they will have a brand new advantage knowing strategically, if you plan an alien invasion and it fails, you'd look at what went wrong. You know, I mean, this is 20 years later and it takes them that long to get here or whatever. So, Yeah, I'm very curious to see in an Independence Day sequel whether or not our answer changes here because, yeah, I feel like Independence Day aliens are probably one of, if not the strongest suggestion we've had from the users of Reddit.
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree.
Buzehe, Buzehe, says, seems the aliens from Independence Day would have a pretty good chance on winning. They have multiple weapons that are capable of wiping out the area the size of New York, and with the smaller fighter ships, they can clean up smaller areas without ever needing to set foot on the Earth, and risk unneeded losses from hand-to-hand combat or plain old gun battles.
Yes.
So there you go. I mean, it's really difficult for me to not make it Independence Day, you know what I mean, when we're deciding this, because... Yeah,
it's those shields as well that causes so much issues. Like, as great as the Predator is in hand-to-hand combat, and they might have pretty decent ships, warships or whatever. I guess we saw a little bit of that example in that awful movie that Robert Rodriguez produced called Predators.
Where they dropped on the planet.
Yeah, where they dropped on the planet. So they do have warships and capable like that. Is how do they penetrate that shield? Unless they can get inside the ship, and in hand-to-hand, I guess they'll go to town on those aliens easily. I don't know. And those aliens do have a sense of psionic power as well. Like, they're able to go into the mind and probably mess them up and confuse them as well. But, I just don't see the Predators penetrating that shield.
Yeah. Though Godzilla is not an option in this, James _099 suggested King Ghidorah and Gigan, who are aliens.
That Godzilla fights. So Godzilla, although he's a huge villain in the first film, like it's almost like a disaster movie, and SimCity shows an example of that when...
SimCity, that's old school.
Yeah, SimCity, when... one of the disasters that happens is a big Godzilla-like creature crushes the city. Yeah. It's funny.
Even if we included Godzilla, he's in a city, and Independence Day aliens shoot and destroy the entire city. Godzilla would be killed.
Yes, that's right. Yep.
So Ghidorah, who I'll just mention for those who are unaware, is a three-headed monster, and if you search Ghidorah, you'll find an image search. You can find it shoots lightning from its three heads. It flies at incredibly quick speeds. They're pretty big, powerful creatures. Gigan has like buzzsaw, like what do you call them? Chainsaw type arms and chest, and has like a laser eye. But they sort of remind me of in Power Rangers.
Yeah, I was going to bring up Power Rangers, and we can bring up Power Rangers because they did make a movie on it, and the main villain was Ivan Ooze.
Okay, but if the Power Rangers can... I suppose the Power Rangers wouldn't really exist in... Would Ivan Ooze stand a chance against anybody, Lloyd?
Well, he'd put up a fight against Godzilla and all those, all the enemies in the Godzilla world, because it's like that sort of action, two big monsters fight each other in a city. That's quite often the battlegrounds.
That's every single Power Rangers episode.
Yeah, but up against like the weaponry of Independence Day, no, there's no way.
Yeah, because I mean they're in a city. The whole city's being destroyed. It just feels like I don't know the intelligence of these monsters. It seems to me like much like Cloverfield, they're just dropped in this situation and they're trying to survive. Yeah, they're just fighting. Cause,
the Cloverfield monster is very powerful as well. Like they hit it with a lot of weapons and it does nothing to it. Like I think they hit it with a nuclear bomb, did they? And it didn't do anything. Or it
I think that. Yeah, they're towards the end of Cloverfield. They're firing and destroying, like wiping out New York or New York. Yeah, the Statue of Liberty's in New York, so they're wiping out New York to try and kill it. They've evacuated the city mostly, and the people with the camera are sort of trapped.
Yep,
it's one of those found footage ones. Pretty decent film though. Look, we get suggestions about predator aliens from Kelsey Cliff. Again, they would be pretty damn serious, as he suggests. But I'm not sure. Do you remember who won out of Aliens vs. Predator?
I've tried to blank those movies out of my mind, but the Predator has a self-destruct mechanism at the end. Like, if they are losing, they trigger off like a self-destruction that is like an equivalent of a bomb, like a nuclear bomb, going off. Yeah. But I guess if Arnie can survive that, then it's probably not that powerful.
Well, let's say they all blew themselves up to kill aliens or whatever they were fighting.
Yeah.
That's not conquering the Earth, though, is it?
No.
So
Well, they
that
could
wouldn't be.
kamikaze into it, I guess. Like, just send off a few in there, but yeah.
Nah, I feel like if Arnie could survive, there's a lot of humans. Arnie's still around in this situation. We just get the Governator and he fights them.
Yeah.
Covers himself in mud.
Yeah. He couldn't
Dead
see me.
squirrel.
Yeah.
Dead squirrel with a 5 instead of an S for squirrel suggested Galactus would wipe the floor with all those aliens. The thing is, Galactus, I believe, is the devourer of worlds.
Yeah.
And this is really a question about conquering. So whereas I believe Galactus sort of sucks all the life force and just everything from a world, leaving it barren and kind
I've
of
only ever
destroyed.
heard about Galactus mentioned, like, in the few comic books that I read, and I'm pretty sure he's in Fantastic Four 2. Like, he's
The Rise of
mentioned.
the Silver Surfer.
Yeah, because he creates Silver Surfer or something, or Silver Surfer's
Yeah,
like,
and Silver Surfer's his herald and stuff, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, Silver Surfer's pretty invincible too.
But he was defeated by love.
Yes. And knocking him off his surfboard,
Yeah.
which the Fantastic Four do. Yeah, look, I think we're at sort of an impasse here because, I mean, we want to try and decide now which alien race would win.
Mm.
And for me, there's two massive standouts here, and that is Independence Day aliens.
Sure.
And I wish we had a sequel to shed more light on it. But and the other one that really stands out for me is the Blob, because say you blow the Blob up, which the Independence aliens would try and do, pieces of the Blob fly out everywhere.
Mm.
You know, say it's left to the Blob versus Independence Day aliens,
Yep.
and the Blob is absorbing humans and things to get bigger and bigger in size. And this is limited only to the Independence Day aliens that are on Earth, because as I said, any Independence Day aliens that are up in the mothership, that's not conquering the Earth.
Mm.
So they try and blow up the Blob. The Blob blows into lots of pieces, because that's their strategy, is, you know, firing and stuff. So
Yeah.
it blows into tons of pieces, and those pieces fly out everywhere. Maybe some of them hit the Independence Day shields,
Yeah.
right? Would they absorb the shields?
I don't think so, no.
So they can't absorb the shields.
Because the only way it could get through a door was going underneath the door. Like, in that example, it would have to absorb the door sort of thing to get through, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay, so it can't absorb a door, but it can't really be killed
yeah.
unless it's frozen.
Like, really, you could lock it in a room, like a airtight room, and just keep it in there, because I don't think it could get out. So it's, you know, although
It
it's...
would be difficult to conquer, wouldn't it, as a blob?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. Where do you land on this one, Lloyd? You leaning Independence Day as
Yeah,
well?
I'm leaning Independence Day and the day the Earth stood still. I just think there's unspoken of power that's possessed there, and I think it's too ridiculous, the weaponry and the day the Earth stood still. Whereas Independence Day, like, is just like a wow. You look at that movie and it's just like, wow, that's like a real, you know, like if an alien race, a very war orientated alien race, would develop this weaponry and conquer an Earth, that's what they would, you know, it's really powerful. Showcases
We probably-
that true power.
We probably hold a special place for Independence Day just because, I mean,
We grew
it
up
came
with
out
it.
in
Yeah.
exactly like 96, and, you know, as a teenager you think it's awesome. And I understand that when they tested Independence Day, you know, with test audiences, the title card would come up, everyone would already know about it, and there would be cheers in the audience.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, they would go, oh, cool, we're watching Independence Day, you know, which is unheard of, isn't it? I
Yeah.
mean, yeah. So I guess we're saying, Internet, that Independence Day aliens would win in a global conquering of Earth, even though in Independence Day they're defeated by a virus.
Yeah.
Do you think, I guess in this scenario, all the aliens have arrived at once, so the people of Earth aren't going, we'll develop a virus to take out this one alien race. They're contending with predators and aliens and War of the Worlds aliens, and just probably don't have the wherewithal to think of defeating one of them.
Yeah.
They're trying to survive against all of them. I
Yeah.
imagine there's a lot of nuking going on, a lot of missiles flying around.
It's all fun and games until somebody brings the nuclear weapon.
Yeah, which would totally warp and take out so many alien races.
Yeah,
But, but not the Independence Day aliens. So
No. Again,
As you know.
and I think it comes down to the nuclear-like weaponry they have, where they can blow up cities like New York with one
Yep.
shot. Like, it does take a bit to power up, but they're protected by a very invincible shield that can survive
the-
nuclear weapons.
yeah, the day the Earth stood still. I don't know. I'm gonna probably have to watch it now just to weigh in on
it's a
these spheres.
terrible movie. Absolutely terrible film. But yeah, I guess watching it just to see the weaponry.
The one thing is that bothers me about the day the Earth stood still is it sounds like Keanu Reeves wants to save the human race. He's got some humanity and stuff.
Yes. Yep.
So how would that factor in
Uh,
like a conquering sense? Would he even want to?
Yeah, that's a good point. It doesn't seem like he's like an Alexander. He's there to beat all the humans. He's there as like a scout to see if humanity deserves to die. That's from memory, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's supposed to build up a report. Is human beings worth saving and or something like that?
Yeah. So I guess they would wipe out the humans if they decided they weren't worth saving, but
yeah.
from memory, what I think I've heard and read is that he does want to save them
Yep. Because of
So
Jennifer
based-
Connelly.
because of Jennifer Connelly.
Yeah.
Because he wants to save them and he's won over by humanity, I think that's sort of a weakness. Although, would he want to save them against the Independence Day aliens? Would he fight for Earth?
Oh, I don't know. You'd have
If
to
he did-
dramatize it.
Yeah, if he fought for Earth, destroyed, like we mentioned, he's got these spheres, he destroys the aliens, but he wants to save humanity, then he leaves the planet Earth, and there is no alien threat, and the humans win.
Yeah.
How about
Humans
that?
will always come out on top, unless it's Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
That's true. Actually, it could be body snatchers. Wow, this is a tricky question.
Yeah.
Thank you to the users of Reddit for their contributions. We'd love to put up more questions like this, and I think for future ones we'll put them on the Facebook page as well. So if you subscribe to us at facebook.com/podme if you can, you'll be able to see any future kind of questions like this. And when this gets posted, feel free to share with us if you've thought of an alien race we haven't thought of, it hasn't been suggested. We'd love to hear about it and hypothesize amongst ourselves.
Yep.
So Lloyd, you're off for a few weeks.
Yeah, I'm off to Japan. I can't wait with a couple of friends, so it should be pretty interesting. Just a standard trip just to see all the sights and stuff like that. You know, nothing special.
But what that means for Podme If You Can is we will be having a few weeks off, so
Yeah.
probably close to a month before another episode comes out. Feel free, though, always to suggest us films to watch and review and discuss. That can all be done through the Facebook page, but you can find all of Lloyd and my links at www.podmeifyoucan.com, as well as any other episodes we may have recorded in the past. Pleasure talking to you, Lloyd. Good question. Yeah, I was very intrigued by all of this.
Sure.
All right, well, until next time, I'm not sure what the next episode will be since it's a month away, but like I said, suggest us something and we might just follow up on it. Thank you all very much for listening.
Thanks, guys. All the best.